Welcome to another episode of Truth Is. I want to do this episode. I'm going to cover a few things on this show, and again, I've started to think about how I've been doing this show, and I want to. This will be episode 13, by the way, of Truth Is, and I haven't really picked out a title. Maybe we'll just name it Peppers because she wants to be in my lap right now. She's spoiler alert. But my big dog, he gets jealous too, so he's gonna want to come up here in a minute too. I want to go over a couple of things. One is the people known as the Patriot Front Group. Now, these people need to be exposed, and I'll tell you why. Because, and you probably already really know this, because I know you're all pretty smart. They're gonna try to do something, and I think it's gonna escalate. They're gonna do something worse, and they're gonna try to make it look like it's us. You see what I mean? So this Patriot Front Group needs to be exposed. But anyway, we'll go over that. I want to go over something about Star Wars, and this is why I hate. I see a lot of people talk about them, and they talk about Hollywood's evil, so I'm going to go over that and a couple other things. But anyway, we'll get right to it. Welcome back. Again, this is episode 13 of Truth Is. I call it Peppers and PFG, the Patriot Front Group. Peppers, of course, is my dog, and as I started this video, she was in my lap, and the big one, he started to try to get in my lap, but now they're both relaxed a minute. My thing is I want to bring up the dangers of this Patriot Front Group, and as you may or may not know, that they have been being bussed around the country, and when they put in, they always have security, like the cops protecting them. The one time they pretended to bust them, they didn't even make them take off their masks. And then again, I want to thank, I got some of this from Salty Cracker, and so some of my stuff is from other places, but I always kind of peruse a lot of videos, a lot of people's stuff, and pick up things that need to be talked about. And we have to protect ourselves, and that's why I wanted to bring this point right now with you all, because when I started my videos, I've never monetized any of my videos. I've never made a single dime, and I've been doing this since 2014. I think first we need to talk about this Patriot Front Group anyway, but I don't do these just for the money. I do it because I think the truth needs to be told, and the truth is just the truth, and that's why the name of my The Truth Just Is, the truth. Anyway, we have to do something where we're not. Let me lower this down just a little bit more here. My camera was a little high there. We have to defend our country right now, and this election is going to be one of the most important elections maybe of all time, really, because if the United States of America falls, the whole world is going to fall. There's no question. America has always been sort of like the cornerstone of the future. Like everything has followed America, you know. But anyway, again, as I was going to say earlier, one of the earliest videos I ever made was up on YouTube, and it got 49,500 and something views. And I think I said this in another video where I was talking about Hollywood. It had 49,500 and something views, and like all but stopped, just like instantly. And this was like in a week or a little over a week. And then it took from 49,500, it took it 5 years to hit 50,000. 5 years. I mean, that's quite an algorithm. You know what I'm saying? And that's been since then my videos. Like I said, I don't really monetize my videos until I got Rumble. I started monetizing my videos on Rumble now, and I mean, I've not made anything yet. I've never even collected a dime. I think I have 70 cents on there now with all the views I've had since I've been on Rumble. And again, they had their own algorithm as well, so a lot of it is just keep pumping videos out, and eventually, you know, you get a little bit more people subscribing to you. And here's the thing: if this group is allowed to continue on the masquerading as right wing, they need to be exposed that they are not right wing. The fact, we know they're not. We know they aren't. But we need to let not only whoever is in charge of these people, because I don't think it's just Soros and them. There's people in our government. So we need to let our government say, hey, you know what? We know these aren't right-wing people. We know this Patriot front group is a staged group, and no doubt agitators, and just like the ones they sent into the Capitol building on January 6th, they're provocateurs, saboteurs. Probably some of them are government agents. I wouldn't doubt CIA, FBI, whatever they are. Because they're all corrupt. We already know that. And I talked about Project Echelon and the NSA, FBI, CIA. If you think about what they're really doing here, you got the NSA at the top of the triangle, see, and they are spying on everybody. See, they've been doing that through Project Echelon. And then you move down here where your CIA, Hollywood, see, now they can play the FBI as their strong arm guys. See what I mean? They use them to go out and talk to people or reach out and, like, let's just say, for example, and I'll say this right here at the top, you got the Project Echelon up here watching everybody, listening to your phone calls. They hear you say something, the CIA's like, hey, what do you got, NSA? What do you got on this guy? Okay, and if the FBI and the CIA now, or the FBI is over here, I could have done this with a triangle, but I'll post up my little Project Echelon thing I made, and they're communicating back and forth between them and the NSA. There's nothing, you understand, there's nothing that they can't do to you. If they can watch you, they can listen to you. If you have, like, say, evidence against someone high-powered, and they're listening to you and say, hey, I put that into a bank, or into a vault in a bank so and so, or if you hid your evidence wherever you had it, that bank or that vault would get broken into 100 to 1, no doubt. They would get it, they would recover it if you had that evidence, and it would get back to the person who they are protecting. So again, the next thing I want to talk about is Star Wars. Like, you got Mark Hamill in the White House, and people are like, "Oh, he's ruining Star Wars." Sorry, Star Wars was ruined a long time ago. I don't know if you know this, but even the first three, if you know the truth, it kind of ruins it for everybody. Even the ones who I loved the first three movies until I found out the truth, and then now I hate them. I hate all the Star Wars movies because to me, what he did when he made Star Wars is no different than me stealing valor and pretending I was a Vietnam vet when I'm not. Because he stole everything in Star Trek, or Star Wars, sorry, stuff from the reason I said that is because I'm thinking that he stole things that I've already shown you pictures of that he stole from Star Trek. He stole things from Lee Brackett and Edmund Hamilton, who were two sci-fi writers. And just so you know, lightsabers were in one of his books. Edmund Hamilton was married to Lee Brackett. Lee Brackett ghost wrote all three of the Star Wars movies that you know, and no doubt more than that. George Lucas didn't even want to give her credit for it. I think 21st Century Fox got wind of it and forced him to put her name in The Empire Strikes Back in the credits. And she passed away just before Empire Strikes Back came out. Her husband passed away just a little bit before that. But both of them collaborated to write Star Wars. Edmund Hamilton and his wife, Lee Brackett, and George Lucas took all the material, claimed it all for herself, stole everything from everywhere, from the devil he used in the cantina. There's so much that he took, even things from his soundtrack were all from other composers. And I know that a lot of musicians will get inspired by listening to a beat, or, you know, hearing something and it gives them an idea. That's one thing. But when you look at his movies, everything, again, I've told all y'all to go to this video, a guy named The Star Killer on YouTube has a channel called The Star Killer, and he has a video called "Did Lee Brackett Ghost Write Star Wars? A Theory?" He put it as a theory, right? But when you listen to his books, or him talking, he's talking about all the books and stuff that Lee Brackett and Edmund Hamilton wrote. You will understand that everything in his movies was practically from, almost everything was from Edmund Hamilton and Lee Brackett. Now, Yoda was a character from a mysterious codex called the Voynich Manuscript, which he was called a demonic entity by the people who originally tried to translate the codex, the Voynich Manuscript codex. And Yoda looks exactly like this little entity in the Voynich Manuscript, who is called a demonic entity. He put Lucifer in the cantina, and then in an interview with Charlie Rose, George Lucas himself once called Disney white slavers after they just bought it from him, the franchise. He also went on to say that he was going to base Star Wars on some much older propaganda. He said there was all kinds of propaganda when people worshipped rocks and all this, and he said he was going to go back to all the much older propaganda for Star Wars. But remind you, now he called all religion propaganda. So then he says he's going to go to the much older, you know, I thought Christianity was one of like the oldest. I know there were some weird things way back with the Babylonians and this and that, but when you look at Star Wars, they never mention God. So again, which propaganda were they putting in there? I see Lucifer, I see demons. It doesn't take much to figure it out. I mean, not being mean, and all you Star Wars fans, you need a wake-up call. Truthfully, there's nothing good about Star Wars when you really look at not what it says or what they're doing in the movie, but where it came from, you know. It's nice. You know, Beelzebub could throw something out there beautiful and you'd love it, right? I don't think you would if you knew it was from him. If you knew it was evil and there was evil involved in its proliferation, now why would you talk about somebody who just bought something from you unless it was a forced deal? I think they have something on him, and I think that's why they forced the sale. And he was mad about that whole thing. We'll give you $5 billion. You should keep your mouth shut or we'll expose you. You know, you think about that. Next, let's look into. This kind of connects to the Patriot Front Group thing. Now you look how all their uniforms were organized, like the same uniform, like every one of them was wearing khakis, the same shirt, same hat, same. And now think about these college campuses, all these tents look exactly the same. Now the fake media is going to lie, of course. You look at the fact checkers, and I'll tell you something else. I did three of the fact checkers. I did little exposés on all three of them on my Boycott Hollywood that's on Facebook. Probably about 7 or 8 years ago. I know because I started that group, Boycott Hollywood. I have one on True Social. That one on Facebook I started 8 years ago, and I did 3 exposés. One was, I think, PolitiFact, one was Snopes, and the other one was Lead Stories, I believe. And in each one, I went through who their sponsors were, showing that they were all left-wing entities. There's no fact check there. They're playing guard for the DNC. You know what I mean? So we know all these organizations are set up by the left. They own the media. They own the fact checkers. They own everything. And so that's why they're so desperate to stop us. And they'll do anything. And I'm telling you, it's going to get bad. And I believe that, just like Alex Jones was saying. Y'all better be ready. And I keep telling people, keep their powder dry, as the saying goes. Because they'll do anything. They don't care. To them, life is meaningless to them. Because it's about power and money. They don't care how many people, because you're all expendable to them. And this is even the dummies on the left. I tell them, as soon as they get what they want, if they did manage to wipe all of us out and all that was left for some of the leftist armies, 101, they would send them right to a gas chamber. That would be the end of them. You know, because they don't want anybody that's been already in there. Well, they know how to fight because they've been fighting with the right or whatever. They would get rid of them too, but again, I don't think they're going to win. Matter of fact, I'm sure they won't. They can't defeat God, no matter what they think they can do. They'll never defeat God. And that was the last thing. Again, I wanted to bring up, because look at all those tents. They're all exactly the same. They're being funded by people like George Soros, which. That's one human I don't know how. And you take him and Bill Gates. Now, he was just talking about turning people into machines again. Now, they banned me once on YouTube for mentioning something about this, because I think I worded it wrong. And they thought I was talking about something else. And y'all know what I'm talking about, because they ban you if you say anything about it. But I wasn't talking about that other thing. I was talking about turning people into machines, which is George Lucas's first movie. Kind of segues into this, because his first movie was actually American Graffiti. The second movie was THX 1138, and they were using the same stuff and turning people into machines through their DNA. Okay, he's been one of them all along. You love his movies? That's nice. I don't want anything to do with them. If you want to be a real hero, I mean, really, the truth is, to me, when I started to learn the truth, when I see their version of a Jedi Knight, I see a fairy in a tutu with a sword in his hand. That's literally what I see in my head. Because to me, that's how weak they are. Because they're all pathetic. They're losers. They're Luciferian. They're not right. the stuff, if you listen, they're fighting against this emperor for what? There's not a single one talks about a religion except they talk about the force. But then there's a dark and a light side, which is totally cutting God out of the equation. And furthermore, what does the Bible say? Woe unto those who call darkness light and light darkness. And what does the emperor control in the movies? He controls lightning. God doesn't control the darkness. God controls the light. Okay? God can light the darkness. And that is, hence that old saying, I think it was Albert Einstein here, I'll put the clip in here, about God did not create evil. Evil is just as light. Darkness is the absence of light. Evil is the absence of God. And so I've been trying to get people to understand, and I see, people always, Star Wars, and I see them using the clips and I'm going, you're talking about fighting the devil using a clip from the devil. Do you get it yet? He's part of the same problem. Unless you're trying to use it against him and you already know this, well, that's one thing. I guess you could do that. I took a clip of Darth Vader doing the guy like that with one hand, or what was he using to? I don't know, because of these trolls on the internet, and I had put on there, I told you not to mess with me, like that or something. I don't remember what I put on him, but something about FAFO on there. But anyway, that was one of my clips I created. But it's past that. I don't use their soundtrack because, again, that's all stolen from Eric Wolfgang Korngold. Somebody else was playing something else by someone else that he had clips of in Star Wars as well. And Planet Sweet by Gustav Holst, the Mars, especially the Mars, when they're pulling them in to the Death Star with the tractor beam. You can find that part right in Mars in Gustav Holst's Planet Sweet easily. You just keep listening, dun 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 dun, when they're pulling them in, and it's the exact same clip. Okay, and y'all, between that, you listen to the three-letter agencies are all corrupted. They're listening to everything, everywhere. The NSA, the FBI, the CIA, they're working together, and that's a terrible thing. They should never, ever be allowed to communicate with each other beyond just if something is needed, like if there's a real threat and they're listening to someone who comes into this country who has bad plans, or maybe a jihadi or something, and they come in, they have these terrible plans, and they hear it, and then they can work with NSA or someone like that there. Then, in that case, that's one thing. But see, we already know they've been abusing the FISA courts. We know they have. If you think that they haven't been running an information laundering service here in the United States to protect their people since maybe the 50s, 40s or 50s. Project Echelon is over 50 years old. A lot of people don't realize if they said certain words on the phone, or, I said this in my last video, if they say certain words, they start recording you. And then the FBI says, hey, do you have anything on this guy? He was talking about this. And like I said, it's one of their people they're protecting, one of their high elites. And they have, I heard him saying something about some of this evidence or something he had. And he said he kept it over here, and then they can go take it. See? You don't understand. You think they haven't done that? Keep kidding yourself. They've done it more than you'll probably ever know. And you will wake up and you will understand the truth that the agencies are corrupted to the core. This stuff they're doing to Trump is just an example, just a small example. I mean, well, they're going all out on him. So I would say it's more than a small example in his case. And God bless him for putting up with everything he's had to put up with. You know, it's really a shame when you think about it, because any person out there, even these dumb liberals, they don't even get it. If it was them in that same position, they were clean as a whistle, they did everything right, went and became president, and they decided they didn't like him. The military-industrial complex, we know who they are. They decided they didn't like him. They'd be a target just the same as Trump, and they think Trump's the bad guy because they're deluded. They really are. They've listened to the TV for so long. They have no clue. They have no clue what's up, what they're up against. You know. Oh, grass. Yeah, dog over here. Anyway, you know, I'm not gonna make this much longer. I just wanted to go over those things. We got to keep an eye on this Patriot Front group. They're not right wing. We need to make sure everyone knows that we know that they're not. You know what I mean? Because they can't turn around and say, "Oh well, they're right wing." No, right wing then said they don't claim them. They've been saying that. You know, that's what we need to get our message out. Is we don't have nothing to do with them. And we don't invite supremacist or racist groups into the right wing, and so that needs to be squashed quick, because it was the KKK again who started after slavery ended. They kept going. They deceived the masses by saying, "Oh yeah, you know about all that other stuff, you know, the other laws and stuff that they tried to keep the black man down, you know, and blacks are blaming all of us, and there's 90-something% of us who never even owned slaves back then. Imagine how many millions have come here now. I mean, there's probably not many people who actually are related to. What's funny is I actually came across a liberal who started arguing with me one time about what we owed to blacks, and I said, "Look, my family came over here to Canada from France, and the Vincents, there were some that fought in the War of 1821 or 1812. Sorry, got to have the number backwards in my head. Fought in the War of 1812. Then they came down to Kentucky, and then my family was in the Union Army." The North, fighting against the South, fighting against slavery. So my family doesn't owe you anything. I'm telling you right now, I don't owe you anything. As a matter of fact, I've never seen privilege in my life. And that's another one I'm going to pop up here real quick, because I'm going to keep repeating this. There's no such thing as white privilege. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a propaganda. It's a narrative, a false narrative, and it's propaganda created to create division. I have mixed family. I have black family. I have white family. I have Indian family. I have family all over the United States. The United States might as well be a web, you know, of people, how we're all interrelated, and y'all are all hating on each other. You hate your own family is what you're doing. The truth is, we're all kind of interrelated anyway. If you go back even further, you know, Adam and Eve, of course. But I'm talking about sooner than that. We're all like, you know, this is stupid. It's dumb, you know. When you look at me, you think I'm just white. No, I'm a mutt. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be really frank, and that's why I tell everybody, even in my first Truth Is video, that my name is Ivan, but I'm not Russian at all. I don't even have any Russian. I have Native American. And I have several tribes of Native American. I have Hebrew. I have Egyptian. I have white. And I have several nationalities: white, English, Irish, Scottish, German, French. And I have Chinese. Yes, I have Chinese in me. So one of the railroad workers way back in the 17 or 18, I don't remember when, because my uncle had that all stuff written down. My aunt has it somewhere. But my ancestor's name was Mir Su Kwai. So yeah, there is Chinese in my bloodline. And there's a lot more of that in me than there is Indian and Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas. I'm actually related to Pocahontas. Hey, more than you, Elizabeth. Anyway, here's the thing. It's just sad that it's come down to this because, I have family who are on the other side. I don't hate anyone. The right wing doesn't hate anyone. We will defend ourselves. We will defend our freedom. We will defend our individual liberty. We're not in this to hurt anyone. We just want, basically, we want everything straightened out and leave us alone. Now, let us live our lives. And if you want to help, that's great. If you want to hurt us, we're not going to let you. Not easily. So again, that's just common sense. It's not something that should be surprising to you. But I'm going to cut this off here in a minute. This is the thing. We need to find a way to get past all this. And if we can't, do you really want to go to civil war? That's the thing. And these people who've convinced you that you want to fight, and when there's no reason to, there's no reason to fight. There's no reason for us to have to fight each other. And I'm gonna tell you, I'll be honest with you. I know a lot of conservatives, and I know people all across this country. I've lived everywhere: Houston, Texas, Memphis, Tennessee, Savannah, Georgia, West Palm Beach, Florida. Port St. Lucie, Florida, St. Louis, Missouri. I've been, but I've never really been further than west than that. Houston, Texas was the furthest west I've ever been. But all the people I know who are conservative, you're not gonna win a fight against them. Not like that. I'm sorry. Even when you bring in your armies in here, Islam or whatever you want to call them, I've been telling people to invest in those leather collars, like the Marines wore during the Barbary Wars, so, if we're ready, then they can't win. That's the thing. We gotta get, because they're not playing. They're not gonna give up because they know that we're on to them. This is their only chance now, because if they don't win this fight, they're done. If we don't win this fight, we're done. You see what I'm saying? So it's come to that because they're not willing to give up their power. And as ridiculous as it is, all this stuff from these idiots, weather, climate, all this dumb stuff, and it's all lies, propaganda. It's all garbage. John Kerry and Al Gore, get out of here, and Klaus Schwab is their master, and I'm going to tell you something. Final thing I'm going to say, okay? You look at who they're supporting. George Soros was a Nazi, you know the word. He was, and during the World War II, I'll post up that picture of him here. And who are all the other people who they're working with? You look at Hans-Georg Wyss or Arabella Inc. and all that, they're all working together to run all these little organizations that are causing these riots that are in the college campuses, in the election stuff, in the interference, everything. Right? They're involved in everything. They are all NAZIs. Every one of them. That's what you're fighting against. I don't care if you say they're the JEW word. They are NAZIs beyond any of the other things. And that's the thing you got to be most worried about, because they're going after control of the whole world. And that means you're going to be under their thumb. It doesn't matter if they're JEWs. It matters if they're NAZIs, because that's about control. And these people who think socialism is better than communism, you don't know what you're talking about, because they're the same thing. They're the same thing. Socialism says, hey, we're letting you hold everything while the government keeps it all, and if you don't cooperate, they arrest you, right? And the same thing with communism. The only difference is they just don't tell you that you own part of it. They just say, okay, we own it all. Do what we say or we arrest you. That's it. There's the difference. Anyway, that's the end of my video. Y'all take care. Again, my books are available. I'm as I said, I have to make these videos because not only is it my country going down the drain, I'm disabled. I'm fighting against the system. I'm going bankrupt right now because I still haven't gotten my SS. I have books I put on the market. I'm so shadow banned that nobody's even seen them. And then not going through a publisher, they're higher, you know, to produce because they're not through a publisher and there's no good deal, you know, no book of the day club and that it gets entered in. So as people order my books, they have to pay for each publishing, and so it costs more. And I have them on Amazon, and I have them on a company called Drafted Digital, and I don't have any. I can't pay for advertising because, like I told you, I'm broke. I'm going bankrupt. I'm about to sell my condo. I'm still stuck here, and you probably all know that. My mortgage company gave me another deferment for 3 months, and they gave me April, May, and June. So that means I have to be gone. And this is the house me and my wife bought together, and she passed away. Bad part of this house is I'm in an HOA, and this HOA doesn't allow me to run side businesses or anything, so I can't do anything here. I'm disabled. I can't go out and work an 8-hour job. I can't stay on my legs for more than maybe an hour or so. When I go to the grocery store, I kind of using the cart as a walker, but I mean, I do it, and I try to keep doing it more and more, but I don't even have that much money where I can go to a store and you know, matter of fact, I'll be honest with you, they gave me EBT and Medicare, and I got to go see a doctor and get some letters and stuff to give to this judge for this hearing when I get my Social Security hearing coming up, and I'm gonna get that done next week. I was gonna go a couple weeks ago, but I got chicken pox. Of all things to do, I got chicken pox, so I'm almost over it now. You can't even tell, but I had a few like little bumps all around, and chicken pox not good. Anyway, I am actually trying to get help. I got a Give Send Go. I got a GoFundMe. I've talked to people who are, but I don't think people are seeing my posts. Like I said, you know, I've posted stuff where Elon could see it, where, you know, anybody who's doing well on the internet can see it. Trump and, you know, everybody, but no, I don't think anybody sees any of it. And I did a video. One of my videos here is called "The Catch-22 from Hell," and literally, when you watch it, you'll understand how I'm in the position I'm in now, and there's nothing I can do about it. And the only thing I can do is keep my spirits up and just keep trying. But you know, I'm like stuck in this boxing. So the only thing I'm left to do is to take this home. I've been getting this. We've had a lot of wolf spiders coming in lately, and I don't know where they're coming from, but I've got this cautious eye where I keep looking around. You know, my dogs are laying down here too, so they see them, and then they'll go after them. But that's the thing. I don't have any time left. I'm out of time. Even with this till June thing, I can't wait that long because all my utilities are getting behind now, so I won't even have electricity much longer. I'm trying to get my third book done and get it on the market before my electricity gets turned off, or my internet, and then I'm really gonna be hurting. Anyway, you all take care. If you can help, you can, please share my videos, like them, subscribe. And if you have any questions, please. And if you would like to see me cover a subject, I will. And one more thing before I go. I think it's kind of funny, but it's also kind of scary that this person is supposed to be in charge of the United States. They're going to shorten the amount of time he speaks on stage. They say he's competent to run for president, but he's not competent to stand trial for the crimes they already know that he's guilty of. They said he was too old. Now you figure that one out. You want to talk about compromise, you know? But check this out. He was talking to the Wounded Warriors Project, and he's looking the wrong direction, talking to a different crowd of people, and the Wounded Warriors were standing behind him. This is the idiot that's in charge of the United States of America now. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and follow me on Rumble.